Welcome to Gray Matter Reports. Today we decode the complex reality of events that unfold around us. The air hung heavy with anticipation. The dimly lit room, a tableau of stark contrasts, revealed a scene meticulously crafted by an unseen hand. Shadows danced along the walls, whispering secrets of a mind shrouded in darkness. Here, biological evidence awaited dissection, each fragment a clue waiting to be unraveled. In the center of the room lay an arrangement of items that spoke volumes about the individual responsible. A meticulous placement of objects, seemingly innocuous, suggested a deliberate intention. The forensic team moved with precision, their instruments glinting in the subdued light. Each tool was an extension of their will, probing into the psyche of a subject defined by an antisocial profile. As they collected evidence, the cacophony of thoughts echoed within the walls. What drove this individual to orchestrate such a chilling tableau? Neuroscience offers us glimpses into this enigma. The brain, with its intricate networks, acts as both architect and executioner. A misfiring synapse can lead to a cascade of decisions, each more detached than the last. The team paused, studying a particular object, a worn notebook, pages frayed and stained with time. Scrawled upon its surface were fragmented thoughts, a mosaic of despair and delusion. It was a window into the mind, a glimpse of a reality twisted beyond recognition. Here lay the unsettling marriage of intellect and emotion, where empathy has long been extinguished. Outside, the world continued, blissfully unaware. But inside this room, time stood still. The individuals who entered were not merely investigators, they became explorers of the human condition. They navigated a landscape marred by psychological scars, seeking to connect the dots between behavior and brain function. Each piece of evidence was a brushstroke in a larger painting, one that revealed not just the individual's actions, but the very fabric of their being. The hum of fluorescent lights filled the silence. Questions lingered in the air, heavy with the weight of unsaid truths. What circumstances forged this path? What neural pathways led to this divergence from the norm? With every collected item, the narrative of the individual began to take shape, a haunting story written in the language of the mind. As the final pieces fell into place, the team felt the cold grip of realization. They were not merely solving a case, they were peering into the abyss of a fractured psyche. The crime scene unveiled more than just evidence. It revealed the echoes of empathy long lost, a chilling reminder of the human experience. In this somber pursuit, the line between the observer and the observed blurred, creating a tapestry woven with both horror and understanding. Each breath was a reminder that the mind, in all its complexity, remains the ultimate puzzle. The mind of the offender is a labyrinth, intricate and dark. Each corner twists into another, echoing thoughts that defy conventional understanding. To navigate this maze, investigators employ a forensic lens, scrutinizing the biological evidence that underpins behavior. Neuroscience reveals that the brain of an individual with an antisocial profile often exhibits distinct aberrations. Imaging studies show altered activity in regions such as the amygdala and prefrontal cortex. These areas govern emotional regulation and moral reasoning. When compromised, they may lead to a disconnect between impulse and consequence. The subject may feel a fleeting thrill in manipulation, yet remain indifferent to the emotional fallout. Consider the case of a young adult whose upbringing was marred by neglect. Brain scans unveil a hypoactive prefrontal cortex, a hallmark of impaired decision-making capabilities. The individual, raised in an environment devoid of empathy, becomes a product of their circumstances. They navigate life with a sense of detachment, their neural pathways shaped by survival rather than connection. This behavioral architecture complicates societal perceptions. We often seek to categorize offenders into neat boxes, yet the truth is more nuanced. The mind is not a clear-cut entity. It is a series of interconnected systems, each influencing the other. A single act may stem from a confluence of genetic predispositions and environmental triggers. The biological evidence unravels the narrative, revealing a mind that struggles to reconcile instinct with morality. Yet empathy does not vanish entirely. It lingers, like a faint echo in a vast chamber. Some individuals may exhibit fleeting moments of compassion, suggesting that beneath the surface lies a dormant capacity for connection. This duality raises profound questions. Can empathy be cultivated? Is it a flicker that can be reignited, or is it forever extinguished in the shadows of trauma? Forensic psychologists delve into these complexities, seeking to understand the interplay of biology and behavior. They analyze patterns, drawing from a wealth of case studies. Each profile becomes a puzzle, fragments pieced together to form a coherent image. The goal is not just to apprehend, but to comprehend. In dissecting the mind of the offender, we unearth reflections of ourselves. The very fabric of humanity is woven with threads of empathy and estrangement. The struggle between light and dark resides in us all, a reminder that understanding is not merely an act of the mind, but an essential journey of the heart. The room was sterile, a canvas stripped of emotion. An array of photographs lined the walls, each image a stark reminder of a life interrupted. The subject's smile, once vibrant, now echoed with an eerie stillness. In the pursuit of understanding, one must confront the dissonance between the individual's essence and the circumstances that led to their suffering. This investigation delves into the heart of the matter, the intricate dance of neuroscience and human experience. To comprehend the actions of an antisocial profile, we must first navigate the labyrinth of the individual's psyche. What lies beneath? A tapestry woven from trauma, resilience, and the shadows of choice. Neuroscience offers a lens through which we can analyze behavioral patterns. Each neuron, each synapse tells a story, a narrative of emotional responses and cognitive dissonance. The individual, once a vibrant participant in society, becomes an enigma. What drove them to cross the threshold into darkness? Was it a momentary lapse or a culmination of unaddressed anguish? The biological evidence reveals more than mere reactions. It unveils the complexities of human emotion. Neuroimaging studies have shown the amygdala's hyperactivity in those who have experienced profound emotional distress. This part of the brain, often called the fear center, becomes a trigger, igniting a cascade of responses that can lead to severe consequences. Understanding this mechanism is crucial, yet it remains only a piece of a larger puzzle. Empathy, a profound yet often elusive concept, becomes the bridge we must cross. It is the ability to feel another's pain, to understand their narrative. But what happens when the stories we uncover are fraught with confusion and despair? As the case concludes, the challenge remains: how to reconcile the individual's suffering with the actions that follow. We are left with echoes, whispers of a life lived, choices made, and the haunting question of why. The individual may be gone, but their narrative persists. Each detail, each nuance, contributes to a broader understanding of the human condition. In this somber exploration, we confront our own empathy. It is a reflection, a mirror that reveals our own fears and vulnerabilities. To understand the individual is to confront the darkness within ourselves. The story does not end with an analysis. It continues to ripple through the lives it touched, leaving an imprint on the collective consciousness. Neuroscience offers a lens through which the shadows of the human psyche can be examined. It is a realm where biology meets behavior, unraveling the intricate tapestry of the mind. Each neural pathway serves as a thread, connecting emotions, impulses, and decisions. Within this framework, the antisocial profile emerges, shaped by a combination of genetic predispositions and environmental influences. Consider the brain as a complex operating system. Its circuits dictate reactions, often before conscious thought has a chance to intervene. For individuals with antisocial traits, these circuits may function differently. Neuroimaging studies reveal reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, a region responsible for impulse control and moral reasoning. This deficit can lead to a diminished ability to empathize, creating a chasm between their internal experiences and the external world. Biological evidence plays a pivotal role in understanding these dynamics. Hormonal imbalances, neurotransmitter deficiencies, and even structural anomalies can illuminate the roots of behavioral deviations. For instance, abnormalities in the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, have been linked to heightened aggression and emotional dysregulation. Each discovery adds a piece to the puzzle, constructing a clearer picture of the individual's psyche. The intersection of neuroscience and psychology reveals that the mind is not merely a vessel of choices, but a landscape shaped by biology. This understanding transforms the narrative from one of moral failing to a clinical portrait of dysfunction. It compels us to view the individual as a product of their wiring, susceptible to impulses beyond their conscious control. Yet, this does not absolve responsibility. The consequences of actions remain, irrespective of the underlying biology. Each case conclusion hinges on a delicate balance between understanding and accountability. The forensic examination of the brain allows for a deeper empathy, yet it also highlights the complexities of human behavior. In the shadows of the mind, empathy can be an elusive ghost. For those with antisocial profiles, the neural architecture may inhibit their ability to connect with others. Still, the echoes of empathy linger, reminding us that beneath the surface lies a web of intricate connections. Understanding these connections can guide interventions, offering pathways to rehabilitation rather than mere punishment. Ultimately, the role of neuroscience is not to create a dichotomy between good and evil, but to explore the gray areas in between. Each individual is a narrative, composed of biological, psychological, and social threads. As we delve deeper into these intricacies, we unearth the profound complexities of human nature, revealing that the mind, like the world itself, is rarely black and white. The investigation reached a pivotal moment. A breakthrough emerged, layered in uncertainty and urgency. Forensic analysts, like modern-day alchemists, sifted through the biological evidence, searching for elusive fragments of truth. As the clock ticked relentlessly, the research team gathered. They were a collection of minds, each sharpened by their own experiences. The neuroscientist, Dr. Ilara Finch, stood at the forefront, her fingers tracing the contours of a brain scan. The neural pathways illuminated under the dim light, revealing a tapestry of emotional responses and behavioral tendencies. "Here," she said, her voice steady yet laden with gravity, "the amygdala shows heightened activity, a hallmark of an antisocial profile. This individual has experienced a significant disconnection from empathy." Her words hung in the air, heavy with implications. The lead investigator, Detective Marcus Hale, leaned closer, absorbing the significance. "So, we're not just looking at a case of impulsive behavior. This is more intricate." His brow furrowed, the weight of the investigation pressing down like a shroud. Each detail mattered. Each connection forged a clearer understanding of the subject's psyche. They turned to the profiles gathered from witnesses. The patterns emerged slowly, like the unfurling of a rose in the dawn. "He exhibits a consistent lack of remorse," Dr. Finch noted, her finger now resting on a timeline of incidents. "This individual navigates the world with a calculated detachment, a reflection of his neurological state." As they pieced together the narrative, a chilling clarity settled over the room. The team was no longer examining a mere series of events. They were dissecting the very essence of a life shaped by neurodevelopmental anomalies. Each profile, each piece of biological evidence, was a thread in a complex tapestry that begged for resolution. Detective Hale's voice broke the silence, somber yet resolute. "What do we know about his history? The roots of this disconnection?" The question echoed, reminding them that the investigation was not simply about the present. It was about understanding the past, the lost opportunities for intervention. The room fell into a contemplative hush. They all understood the weight of their task. This investigation was about more than apprehending an individual. It was about delving deep into the cavernous shadows of human behavior. It was about empathy, or the absence thereof, refracted through a lens of science. As the pieces converged, the turning point drew nearer. The team stood poised at the edge of revelation, ready to confront the echoes of a life lived in darkness. The room lay silent, a stark contrast to the chaos that once filled it. Shadows lingered on the walls, remnants of a confrontation that had spiraled into darkness. In the aftermath, the air was thick with unanswered questions, each echoing the complexity of the human psyche. The case, now concluded, revealed a tapestry woven with strands of a troubled mind. Neuroscientific exploration had illuminated the pathways of the individual's behavior, mapping the intricate connections that defined their choices. The brain, a formidable organ, held secrets that traditional analysis often overlooked. As investigators sifted through the biological evidence, they found glaring anomalies in the limbic system. This ancient part of the brain, responsible for emotion and instinct, had seemingly betrayed its owner. Anomalies in neural pathways were not merely abstract concepts. They manifested in actions that defied societal norms. The antisocial profile emerged, a stark reminder of the fragility of empathy. It was as if this individual had been wrapped in a shroud, unable to perceive the world through the lens of shared humanity. The absence of empathy, a fundamental human trait, left a void that distorted their reality. As forensic psychologists delved deeper, they noted that the individual's responses were devoid of emotional resonance. Each decision appeared calculated, devoid of the warmth that informs most human interactions. The mirror neurons responsible for empathy had fallen silent. This silence, however, spoke volumes, painting a portrait fraught with internal conflict and isolation. Reflections on the case brought forth a disquieting truth. The very constructs of morality, shaped by experience and culture, had unraveled in the face of biological determinism. Each thought process, every decision, was a product of a multitude of factors: genetics, environment, and perhaps an insatiable yearning for connection that had gone tragically awry. The individuals involved in the investigation could not help but wonder if they were witnessing the disintegration of a soul, rather than merely the documentation of a case. In the quiet aftermath, the question lingered: how do we reconcile the science of the brain with the ethics of our actions? The reflections of the team turned inward, their own empathy challenged by the complexities they had encountered. Each case was a reminder of our shared humanity, a plea for understanding in a world that often feels devoid of it. The final report bore witness to more than just the details of a troubled individual. It echoed a deeper truth about the fragility of the human condition, urging all to reflect on the delicate balance between nature and nurture. In the end, the narrative was not just about a case concluded. It was an invitation to ponder the very essence of empathy itself.